Welcome to APREA Show, Investing in Asian Real Assets.
Welcome to the APREA podcast interview, and today we're talking to Mohit Malhotra, who is the CEO of India's Godrej Properties. Hello.
Hi, Mark. Thanks for your invite.
Thank you very much for coming along. And we're going to start with talking a little bit about your career path. You started out not in real estate, but with Unilever, and then did a little bit of consultancy before actually turning to real estate. Tell us a bit about how you moved into real estate in the first place. What brought on the change of direction?
Yeah, it's actually the first phase of my life was about discovering my passion, and I started my career actually. Right after my engineering college, I joined Wipro Technologies, which was a software company in India. Post that, I did my MBA, and I joined Unilever in sales and marketing. Worked there for almost 2 years, and then joined A.T. Kearney. So I mean, the first phase was about discovering my passion, and during my stint in A.T. Kearney, I worked with Nakheel in Dubai, and they were trying to set up their international operations, and they formed a company called Limitless, and that's how I got exposed to real estate sector in Dubai, and I found it quite exciting. I found that this is a sector which I started to enjoy a lot more, and hence I decided that I want to pursue my career in this sector. And one of the reasons, I worked across sectors, and many people have asked me this question, that why real estate? And one of the key aspects which influenced my choice was, the kind of impact an individual can make in this sector. And that, largely led to my choice of, real estate. I joined real estate in India at a very, very nascent stage. It was actually a sector not many people knew. It wasn't as big as it is today. Yes, it has been a roller coaster ride from then on.
Okay. Now you joined Godrej in 2010, and by 2017 you'd been appointed CEO, which is a pretty rapid rise. So tell us a bit about that. To what do you attribute the swiftness of your promotion?
I think it's a combination of many things. I joined, as you rightly said, in 2010. I was heading the business development function, and over the years, I took up additional responsibility. I took over the business head role for Northern region in, we call it NCR, which is a capital region. P&L head in sometime in 2012. Within 2 years of that, we were the market leaders in NCR. Post which, I was appointed in the board as executive director. And, the journey was to see if we can replicate this success of market leadership across other geographies. Somewhere actually, in my first year as the CEO in 2018, financial year 2018, we actually achieved our vision of being amongst the top 3 players in each of the geographies we are present. So we became number 1 player in North NCR. We became number 1 player in Pune, and in Mumbai we were number 2, and in Bangalore we were number 3. And within the overall real estate business, we were number 2 in terms of sales. So overall, I think the journey has been pretty exciting. I really wanted to thank the organization for giving me these opportunities, where I could develop different aspects of myself, but if I have to really summarize, Mark, for your benefit, on what really contributed to this journey, I would say the number 1 is definitely luck, because I was at the right place at the right time. So I think we cannot take away the benefit of a positive external environment in your growth. And so I think luck always plays a big role in everyone's career, including mine. Uh, the second was the trust which the promoters and my boss placed in me. It gave me because when I took over the P&L role for North region, I actually had no operational background, so it was a new learning for me, and the organization kept trusting me much ahead of my delivery or my potential. So I think clearly, the role played by my seniors, and especially my boss, Mr. Godrej, was a key factor in this success. And I think the third factor is, we as an organization and me personally, uh, we think big, and I think thinking big and delivering consistent results has been something which people know me, and I think that definitely helped in this journey as an organization. Just to give you some perspective of the kind of growth we witness as an organization, I joined in financial year FI11, September 2010 to be precise, and we got listed in FI10. We in India we use financial years, not the calendar years.
Yeah.
So in FI10, financial year 2010, we got listed, and at that point of time, our sales were around 350 odd crores, and in 2020, almost 10 years from that period of time, our sales was closer to 5,900 crores. So almost 15x growth in 10 years, kind of a framework. And from being almost a nobody in this industry or a very fringe player, we became one of the most dominating players in Indian real estate space. So I think my success has also been intrinsically linked to the success of the organization and the growth which organization had over this period of time.
You mentioned the support of your boss. Was there were there other mentors who helped you through your career? And do you have any, I suppose, for want of a better term, business idols that you look up for, you want to emulate, or you whose books you read?
Yeah, no, I actually read a lot of books. I would say, really, if I have to pick up mentor, I would say books has been my number one mentor. Uh, um, and I as a person, I get excited by big things. I like delivering big outcomes. So people who have delivered and taken companies from scratch to very large sizes, something like what Schwartzman has done in Blackstone, or Wang Xie has done in Wangke. I think these are the people I really look up to, would love to emulate, because these are people who have thought big and delivered big, and something which I really value and would like to emulate. Apart from that, there have been several mentors, big support from my wife, from my family, my parents in this success, and the advice which I keep getting from all the various stakeholders. Yeah, they have really helped me in this journey.
And what do you do yourself now, as obviously CEO and having been in the position a little while? What do you do to bring on new talent within the company?
So, one of the key reasons of success for us as an organization and me as a leader has been, ability to groom new talent from within. So, a lot of our talent is homegrown, and something we as leaders really like to mentor and grow talent from within. So I really spend a lot of time with the talent in helping them grow. Some of these would be directly reporting to you at some point of time, or some people who could be indirectly reporting to you through some chain. But really spending time in helping people grow is one of the and seeing people you have groomed kind of reaching to leadership positions either within the company or within the industry, I think that gives you a lot of joy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always very satisfying.
Yes.
Now, you mentioned that the company had grown substantially in the time that you were there. Are there any particular company USPs or other factors that you think that made Godrej grow so quickly?
I think if I have to highlight, I would say there are four key reasons or the four USPs which I feel as an organization we have. The first is brand. We have a legacy of more than 120 years of Godrej brand. It's highly valued and trusted brand in India. So having this kind of a brand behind you really helps. Uh, the second is in real estate, I believe capital management is one of the most important things which determines success. So I think the way we manage capital, both in terms of raising capital at attractive terms, whether it is debt or equity, maintaining a very healthy balance sheet throughout. So we have been always doing fundraising on time, to ensure that debt equities are in the right place, and we are maintaining a healthy balance sheet. And one of the most I would say biggest USP of the organization is capital deployment. uh, you know we have very innovative structures in how we do deals in the sector, and I think this has really helped us, because in this period of time which I mentioned, between FY10 to FY20, while we grew by more than 15x, the industry actually declined by more than 50%. So the real estate cycle was in a down cycle, and despite prices correcting in most markets, we actually ended up delivering good results, and that is because of how we had structured our deals in our joint ventures, etc. So capital management is a very, very large strength as organization. Uh, the third is, I would say, the people. Now, what I mean by people is, our people strategy and the kind of talent we have. We have a very entrepreneurial organization. Uh, we don't look at ourselves as employees. We look at ourselves and everyone in leadership. And I'm talking about, uh, you know, uh, both the L4 level at which we are and also the next line of leadership. It's a very entrepreneurial culture we have been able to create. And I think that really helps you when you are hit with the uncertainty like what happened in 2020, when in March COVID came in and there was a complete lockdown, the first of its kind ever experienced in our lifetime. And the we were actually closing the year. It was, I think, somewhere around March 15th, and we work on annual targets, and we had a target of delivering close to 6,000 crore number, uh, and 15th of March, it looked like a cakewalk that we will not only deliver it but surpass it by miles. But lockdown happened, and we were, I think, close to 1,000 crore short or 800 crore short. And obviously, what do you expect when a national lockdown happens and all of us are locked into our home and not allowed to step out of the homes? But that's where I think the entrepreneurial culture kicked in. People love to deliver results. It's in our DNA that we don't allow challenges to come in the way. And the sales team came together. They said, "Fine, we are hit with this uncertainty, but can we do digital sales?" We had thankfully the back end ready to actually deliver on digital sales because of a long-term project we were working on. And very quickly, people innovated and started doing sales digitally. And who would have expected that a buyer can buy a such an most expensive, most important purchase of their life uh, online. Uh, but just to give you a perspective, that in the first 15 days of the lockdown, when we were all not knowing what has hit us, the team actually ended up, selling more than 800 crores of real estate, and actually ended up delivering their targets. Uh, so I think that's really sets us apart from any other organization. This kind of a culture, which is so bottom up entrepreneurial culture, which we have been able to create, is a very strong USP. Also, the way we have structured the organization, we are a highly decentralized organization. We have set up P&Ls across geographies, all our geographies. So we have structured in a way where each of these four regions, where we are concentrated, where we would like to grow, have their own set of CEOs. They report to me, but they have full-fledged teams, highly independent, to run their businesses. So I think the people part of our strategy, the way we have structured uh, our organization structure, our culture of driving high performance, the entrepreneurial behavior which our teams bring on the table. I think that really is, if we have to say number one USP, that's the core USP, and something which is very, very difficult for anyone else to replicate. It took us years of work to get this to our place. So I think culture and people would really be the key differentiator, and a sustainable differentiator for us.
Yeah, you mentioned, I mean, a lot of companies talk about fostering an entrepreneurial spirit, but obviously, as you intimated, it's easier said than done. And how do you do it? Is it through financial incentivization, or is it with independence and decision making, or a combination, or other factors?
I think it's really difficult one to solve for. I'm actually a big believer of this philosophy. I would say, the number one thing is creating the right alignment of interest between shareholders and employees. And that's really tough one to crack. Uh, the other is, creating the right alignment through the right financial incentives is a really important part of the equation. We believe in the philosophy of win for business, win for employees. So if the company is growing at this kind of a rapid pace, then are we creating wealth for the employees, or at least the high performing employees disproportionately? So I think that piece has been something which we have got it right. And again, one of the biggest reasons we could do it is because of the support of our promoters, of my boss, and believing in this philosophy. The other is, but I think it's the second or the third step. The first step is, money is not really a driver. Uh, it is important, but not essential. I think you need people who are very driven from inside, who really want to create something extraordinary. Uh, and I think the first couple of, from the time when I came into board and became executive director, there was a lot of churn which happened in our organization in the first 2-3 years, where some people chose that this is not the game they want to play, and there was a set of people who got attracted and saying, we would love to play this high performance game. So I think getting the right people in, who are internally motivated, who are intrinsically motivated, people who would like to do things not because their bosses are saying that why don't you deliver extraordinary results. They deliver it because they want to do it, and create their own set of brands, or create set of legacy. So having right set of people, in my mind, Mark, is the most important element. Once you have the right set of people, I think you need to let them go, and deliver. Don't micromanage them. Give them empowerment and give them freedom. Uh, and I think that's where the decentralized structure helps, because a decentralized structure in the way we operate today, it's highly empowered, unlike any other real estate company in India, where most of the power is highly centralized. So I think having the right set of people who are very motivated, intrinsically driven, and then giving them freedom and empowerment and trusting them that they will get 80% of decisions right, and 20% when they don't get it right, we don't kill them. uh, and then third, of course, is adding fuel to the fire through the right incentive program, but the fire has to be already there.
Yeah, yeah, has to be lit already.
Yes.
Okay. You started, you mentioned a little bit about the digital sales program, and I noticed, I was looking at the company website, that there's quite a focus on technology and also design. Perhaps you could talk a little bit about that, how those two factors are important in the development of the company.
Yeah. See, we are a company which from the day one knew that we would scale up. So when we are, even in 2010, the vision was that we become the market leader. So actually in 2011, we really put our strategy and the vision internally, saying we want to become the number one player in India. And we also want to become market leader or amongst the top three in each of these geographies. So from day one, we knew, we will be a very large company, and scale is core or key in our DNA. And to manage scale, the most important element is technology. The technology is in various, it's actually across value chain. Uh, so one of the key elements of empowerment, of creating decentralized structure, was having right systems and controls. So we have an extremely strong, information technology backbone, which helps us as an organization. Our decision making on a. So today, there are close to 65 odd projects which are running live, but on a click of button, I can know exactly what is happening in each project, whether it's cash flows or sales or, any kind of metrics. All our projects, business plans are online. I can look at any project IRRs or return metrics and see if they're in healthy zone or not so healthy zone. And then we can intervene at the right manner. So very strong technology backbone is, behind, and extremely strong. We use Microsoft BI for all our analytics and MIS and, decision making. That has been in place. The other important thing was, about digitizing every bit of the value chain. When we are looking at design, we quickly realized that the kind of scale which we are operating, again, we need to be on technology and embrace technology. So all our projects today, have implemented BIM. All our document management is on Econex. All our projects in construction run on Asta platforms. So again, each leader in their own function kept thinking on how we can leverage technology, to better manage scale. Even today we keep asking this question, that today we are operating 60-65 projects. I'm sure 5 years from now this number could be a 200 plus number. And then are we really set up for managing this kind of a scale? And then what is the right technology? So we're evaluating drone technologies to monitor construction. We have recently launched an app to monitor quality online through a quality app. And one of the key, so as I said, the quality is, the technology is something which is a big initiative. Every function looks at it. The one big area of work which we did almost 3 years back was a bit crazy. where we all sat down and said, if Tesla could sell, this 50, 60, maybe more expensive cars uh, uh, online, is there a reason why we can't sell homes online? Now, this is 3 years back. Obviously, everybody thought it's a totally illogical idea. Uh, but we still pursued that dream, and we said, can we create an Amazon kind of a thing for real estate where we can sell online real estate? Now, so that project took off. It completely we had to completely change our sales processes and the back end. And 2 years later, when the COVID hit us, actually our back end was totally ready and our front end was almost 90% ready. Uh, and even today, we are in the process of launching our app. It's already there in App Store right now, under testing phase, um, uh, where you can go to our app and buy a home sitting where you are, completely online. And you can choose the project, you can select, you can look at the master plan, you can look at the views which you can get from the house you have selected, you can choose your inventory, payment plans, and make the payment, and your uh, legal document, everything is closed online. So it's something which is now already developed, and hopefully we should be launching it officially very soon. But all our sales today is happening through that platform. Um, and the other key differentiator for us is the design, and we strongly believe that the reason for our success in sales is because of the right product. And the right product is a combination of having the right consumer insights and then translating those insights into the product through design. uh, so I think both of these are understanding consumer, and really getting into the depth of what consumer need for a certain micro market and the processes which we run behind it. And then of course the creative people come in and really create outstanding designs and products out of it, which is again something which people really appreciate. uh, has contributed in a big way for our success.
And as well, for that digital sales program, obviously the technology is important, and for people to be able to look around about what they're buying. But I guess also trust is really important, and trust in the brand. That it's not just seeing what's online, but getting in real life what's online.
Yeah, and I think that's where our brand plays a very large role. Uh, as I said, we have a benefit of more than 120 years of legacy of Godrej brand. It's one of the most admired brands in uh, India. So I think really that heads. And Godrej Properties today also is the largest listed real estate company in India, and people know, implicitly trust us. And all our projects we deliver ahead of schedule. We honor our commitments, uh, and for us, our purpose is to deliver everyday joy to our customers. So customer comes first. And again, we don't believe in talk. uh, so everything which we say has to come back to a metric, and we measure it. So for us, one of the key metrics which we measure and reward our management teams and our employees, apart from financial results which they deliver, is actually customer satisfaction, which we measure through NPS scores. And today our NPS scores are upwards of 60 plus, uh, which is actually probably the highest in real estate space, not in India, but I would assume it will be in top percentile of global real estate. And also amongst the companies, when we checked, it could be amongst the top 10 or 15 within all companies in India. So I think that's a really important metric for us. And more than the metric, metric is just way to measure things. customer centricity is at the heart of why we exist, and all of these things help customer, their interactions with us and their experiences with us, seeing their homes getting delivered, backed by a very strong brand. All of these, has helped build greater trust over time.
Okay, you spoke earlier. You talked about having 65 projects on the go now, and at some point in the future you might be at 200. And I was going to ask, if you're the biggest listed developer already, where do you go? How big and where else do you want to be?
Yeah, I think as you asked me a question on who are the people I look up to, and I did mention the organization which I mentioned, which was Blackstone and Vanke. Now, if you look at Vanke, in 2004 odd years, I think in year 2004 they had $1 billion of sales, and they almost started at the same time as we did. And we are closer to $1 billion of sales today, slightly less than $1 billion of sales. And, if you look at the growth of the last 10 years, you have grown 15x, and you kind of feel, okay, you're already the largest. What is the growth path from here on? But then you look at some of these Chinese companies like Vanke, and from 1 billion, they're closer to 100 billion in terms of sales. So, and that happened in the next from 2004 to 2020 is a 15-16 years period. They grew 100x practically. Now, of course, China being China and government support, and I'm not saying the Indian real estate will go through that kind of a growth, but I think it opens up your mind in saying, if they could grow 100x from their 1 billion, why can't we deliver at least what we delivered in past? So
to do that 15 times again.
Yeah, I think, and I think when I say this to my employees, they don't blink their eyes. They believe that anything is possible, and we work hard. We take ambitious goals, we work hard for it, and then it really doesn't matter whether you ended up doing 15x or 10x, because any x on that number is actually quite inspirational and good outcome.
Vanke have expanded overseas. Is that something that you'd consider for Godrej?
Not at this stage, Mark. I think at least for next 5 years, I don't see any chance of us operating outside India, because there's so much potential in India. See, even if we are the largest listed real estate company in India, our market share today of the overall market is less than 2%.
Okay.
So I think there is a big journey we have in entering new cities in India first, gaining market share within the cities in which we are operating. And only once the growth saturates in India, which I don't think will happen at least in next 10 to 15 years, would we consider going outside India. So I think pretty much not in medium term or long term we are looking at this option.
Okay, something else I noticed on the website is that you've won a lot of awards from various bodies, and I just wondered, how important are they to you or to the company, or are they something that's just a nice to have, but it's the bottom line that counts?
I think it's nice to have, and it feels good if you are getting recognized by the industry, but I think clearly value creation for our shareholders, creating joy for our customers, and are one of two most important things, and retaining this performance-driven culture, which is the core of our success. I think as long as we are focusing and delivering on all these three outcomes, the rewards would follow. And as you said, it's good to have, but let's not get blindsided by them.
I'd like to talk a little bit more about the wider Indian real estate market now. First, touching on sustainability, which I know is a big thing for your company, but what more needs to be done for the wider Indian real estate market, and what are its biggest sustainability challenges?
I think sustainability is a very big issue, not just for the industry but for the world at large. And I think the kind of crisis we are seeing across, there's no clean air which we are able to breathe today in the larger metropolises of Delhi, or even in Mumbai now. Uh, I think the whole water problem which cities are facing, some of the cities are going to run short of waters. Uh, Especially places like Bangalore, Chennai, it's already visible issue. Uh, the waste management is a big area of concern. Um, so I think it's a very large problem, Mark. It's a city level problem. Most cities have grown uh, at a very rapid pace without putting the right infrastructure in place. If you look at the rivers today, uh, they're in really, the pollution levels are pretty high. So it's a very big issue. We have to. Uh, it's an issue which, frankly, government has to work in solving it, and we as individuals and as corporates have to really support government and do our bit in solving these issues. uh, so I think if you look at us as a group or as a company, see, we are very particular about sustainability. We run a program called Good and Green, and in it, at a group level, carbon neutrality uh, is very, very important. Water positive, uh, ensuring that all our developments, we manage the waste so that we don't create more waste in the environment. Is at a group level things. For us as an organization, sustainability is the core of our design philosophy. So all our developments at whatever, whether it's a mid-income or a affordable or a luxury, they're all green certified buildings. At the design of real estate spaces, we can really make a difference in energy management, uh, the choice of material which we are using. So all of these make a big difference. The facade, again, there are many factors which go into it, but the commitment is that all projects will be green certified. Most projects are silver plus certified and above. Uh, and thanks to all the effort which we have been doing as an organization towards sustainability, I'm actually quite happy to let you know that on the GRESB index,
Yeah.
we scored 95 this year, in FY20, in 2020, and became the most sustainable developer globally. So I think sustainability is very core for us, and I think uh, individually, as I said, it's something which I don't think it's a business issue alone. It's a deeper issue because we really need to be worried about what's happening to the planet today.
Absolutely. Another issue for Indian real estate is affordability and the supply of affordable homes. How do you best think that this challenge can be met by the government and the industry?
It's a very tough area, and again, I think we don't have a clear definition on what affordability means, Mark, in India. Uh, Now, everybody has their own definition of affordability, but let's just divide affordability into two segments. There is a bottom of pyramid issue, and then there is the affordability segment which we typically use in our parlance as an industry. Uh, Typically, if I look at, there is a segment between 30 lakhs to a 50 lakh. I think there is a huge segment of demand there. Government with its intervention with its incentive programs. Like if you build a house below a certain size, and if the price is less than 45 lakhs, then the GST on that house instead of 5% will be 1%. So there are incentives that government has created for customers and for developers in operating on affordable segment. The real and there is a lot of players who are operating there successfully, including us. We've been designing and selling a lot of real estate in this space. The real challenge is how do you solve for bottom of pyramid? How do you deliver 10, 20 lakhs home? Because there's no margins there, and that needs a very structural reforms. It can't be ad hoc reform. You'll need to really fundamentally look at the value chain. How much is the cost? Which elements of cost can be removed? And I think it can only and only happen if there is a very strong government intervention in delivering this. I think it will be a private-public partnership model which can change that reality. A private player trying it alone would be a little difficult.
Yeah, I understand that a major obstacle is the cost of land, or at least the cost of land in places where it would be of use to people. Do you have any thoughts about how that could be dealt with?
I think cost of land is one major element, and again, as I said, we need to treat this as an infrastructure project and not a real estate project. So if you're building a highway, there are laws which allow you to take these land parcels at a reasonable cost. It's not very cheap, but I think it's a fair cost, and it looks at some of these aspects. So if government acquires these parcels of land, almost thinking them as an infrastructure project, does a partnership with a development company in a format which is win-win for everyone, I think it can solve the cost of land issue. It's a very difficult issue. It's a politically sensitive issue, so not an easy one. I don't think easy one for governments also to solve. The other issue is the cost of delays, especially approvals, and I think that's where it's an easy one to solve, but it's not getting resolved despite numerous efforts from various bodies, including government. But that really plays a big role because sometimes project gets stuck for approval, sometimes it gets stuck on MOEF issues, and in a premium project you can still absorb these costs, and it takes away your margin, but you can absorb them. But in a affordable segment with very thin margins, you don't have the luxury of any of these things going wrong. So as I said, this will need a very deep thinking and a complete rehaul of how we operate.
Yeah, a coordinated public-private approach.
Yes.
Okay, so just a few kind of concluding questions, just to round up. Your bio says you're a keen traveller, and so I wondered how much have you missed that this year? What have you done to make up for not doing the trips, either business or personal?
Yeah, I think that's I think one of the key things I miss of 2020, and hopefully it's all changing soon with vaccines coming in. So I'm quite optimistic that maybe in 3-4 months we could all travel and go back to normal life. But yeah, I really do miss traveling. Both traveling to the cities where we operate and also for holidays. So it's something it's a huge thing you realize when you're not able to do it.
Yeah. And what kind of traveller are you? Are you sort of a culture vulture? Do you look for the great outdoors? Do you have the phone switched off? Is that a luxury you ever get?
I think that would be a real luxury if you can if you can get that. But I think still I would say we have I do maintain some boundaries when I take a holiday, and I think it's a thing which we do for all of us. Even if my own teams are traveling, I would not bother them either by calling them or by sending them emails, and I very clearly say that I don't expect you to reply, or even if you see a mail. And I think that's the same thing which people reciprocate. So I think I would say it's a good balance during a holiday. You can't completely switch off at the levels we are operating. Um, in terms of the kind of traveler I am, I would say I'm I would quickly mix into the crowd and uh, kind of live the life of the person in that city.
Okay, try
So
and go local.
go local. I think that's what Airbnb kind of says. So I do. I actually like to take an Airbnb, live like a local, and just I would say melt with the crowd and really experience the life as a local.
And where would be the first place you'd aim to go for a leisure visit, either inside or outside India?
It will be 100% Europe.
Right. Excellent. Well, I hope that things in Europe have improved.
I too hope. Yeah, things are a little tough there right now.
Well, it's been fascinating to talk to you, Mohit. Thank you very much for your time. It's been
absolutely
excellent.
Pleasure, Mark, and thank you for the invite, both from your side and APREA. Deeply appreciate it.